Almost days after I borrowed my Digitakt to a friend of mine, Elektron released the Digitakt 2. Of course, I immediately bought one, and 72 hours later it had arrived. So, after a couple of weeks feeling it, my conclusion is that it is holding up to the hype, but there are a few things that could put it into beast mode. Here are 5 things I found lacking in the Digitakt 2, but also what you can do about it right now. Let's get the most obvious thing out of the way first. No overbridge? Honestly, I'm actually one of those crazy loons that doesn't care too much for overbridge. No hate or anything. It's just that overbridge brings in a silly amount of latency to my system, and as the OCD overlord I am a bit picky with having things real tight and snappy. And I actually find it quicker to work with the electrons directly than in the software editor. But I find the standalone app to be very useful for recording all the tracks as separate stems. Solution: all good things for those who wait, Clarice. Digitakt 2 has a white display. White display. Really? I know how silly I am right now, but honestly, I feel the white display in version 2 is a downgrade from the OG yellow. The good thing of having a neutral white is that maybe some clever guy will come up with a choose your own color overlay for the screen, like the protector screens we put on our smartphones. It shouldn't be rocket science. There are already a crazy amount of cool overlays, so why not specifically the screen? No batteries. I actually got sad when Elektron gave up the idea of the battery handle for the model samples and cycles. Having an Elektron box that can run on battery would be a dream come true for me. And well, I can't actually see how difficult it would be to add a battery inside the Digitakt. The modern Akai MPCs have batteries, so it should be a walk in the park for the Elektron people. Actually, there is a guy who's done a DIY project for exactly this. Check out his project, link in the description. While no batteries isn't a deal breaker for me, I really want this to happen in one shape or form. Maybe there is still life in the model series, and an updated Mark II is on the horizon. Because duct tape and a battery bank works, but just doesn't feel right to me. Elektron, please? Probably the most requested feature on the Elektronauts forum is the support for slicing of samples. While this function already exists, it's only slicing equally to a set grid, which is not bad per se, but for slicing groovy beats you need better than that. An easy way would be to add support for adjusting slice start and end point, like on the Octatrack. Automatic slicing with a threshold setting wouldn't be too much to ask for, now would it? Predicting what Elektron will add for future updates is close to impossible. Elektron does what Elektron does. But this absolutely feels like a given. But right now, either you have to go through sample by sample or get along with the grid slicing. This is my #1 missing feature of the Digitakt 2. And you who follow my channel already know what I'm about to say. No polyphony. This is the real head scratcher for me. You got 16 tracks, which equals to 16 separate stereo voices that can be played at any given time. Technically, you have all the ingredients to turn Digitakt 2 into a modern polyphonic sampler. Being able to sample a synth, then immediately being able to play the sample with chords, interval, etc. would be absolutely amazing. And honestly, I really can't understand why Elektron haven't done this. I mean, you can already do this with the Digitone and even the older Analog 4 by allocating the number of voices a track can use. To be fair, it's actually possible to do this already today. But you need either RetroKit's smart MIDI cable, hardware, or the Pollinator app, software. For live users, I think you can do the same with Max for Live as well. But seriously, I can't think of anything cooler than being able to turn the Digitakt into a polyphonic sampler. What are the things you feel needs to be addressed with the new Digitakt? Or do you find it to be perfect as it is? Let me know in the comments below.